Hey, it's Melissa. Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 3, week 43, ending February 5th, 2021. The Melissa method is my attempt to implement the CAN-SLIM trading methodology developed by William O'Neill. I'm trading in my own retirement account and don't have any tax implications on my trades to consider. This is my video diary sharing my stock journey. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and celebrate my successes. This is not an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I bought or to purchase stocks in general. According to the IBD at investors.com, the market is in a confirmed uptrend, which means it's a good time to be buying stocks. The 50-day simple moving average did act as support on the S&P 500, and it bounced right off that line and kept moving up. It gained 4.6% this week. Every day was an up day this week, and it reached an all-time high. The S&P 500 closed the week at 3,886. I sold 2 different stocks this week. AHCO I bought and sold in the same week. I held it just for the 2 days. And Tesla I sold. Tesla's going sideways. The 8-day and 16-day simple moving averages have merged. Will Tesla break out of this pattern? And if so, how long will it take? This consolidation is about 4 weeks long, and the last consolidation was 11 weeks. On Thursday, I sold my B1, my B2, and my B3 worth about $38,000. My B1 had a 101% gain in 12 weeks and 1 day. My B2 had a 68.3% gain in 11 weeks and a day. And my B3 had a 45.7% gain in just about 10 weeks. Selling Tesla was my version of taking profits. I sold and booked a 101% gain on my B1, and then I turned around and bought Tesla back. I went from a holding of approximately 42,000 to a holding of 20,000. I bought a new B1 position before I sold my original B1, B2, and B3, and I turned my previous add-on buy $4,000 position to my B3. And then after I sold my original B1, 2, and 3, I bought a B2. So I have a full position in Tesla now with the lowest purchase price around $836. I set the floor for all 3 buys at the 31-day exponential moving average on Thursday, which was at 788.10. Tesla currently has below average volume. On the right-hand side down at the bottom, you can see that all the volume bars are below that blue average line. I'm looking for the volume to change characters like it did at number 1, 2, and 3, even though 3, it had above average volume, but the price didn't continue up. Adapt Health Corp, stock symbol AHCO. Franca texted me that she bought this. I like the chart, and I like the price acceleration, the sales growth, and the increasing volume. I bought some, but this breakout failed and triggered a sell. I held it just the 2 days and lost 8%. I made a bunch of purchases this week. Adapt Health in the red, that one I bought and sold, but I have B1s that I'm still holding in Apps, Desktop Metal, QFIN, and Zedge. I also made buys in positions that I held last week. I have a new buy in Logitech, Roku, a full slate of Tesla, and TSM. Every time I purchase a stock, I set a stop limit order 8% below my purchase price as my floor, and I look for a better place to move my floor up to if I can. Zedge Inc., stock symbol ZDGE. Zedge is a new purchase. I'm calling this my mistake stock. I found it on my tandem screen, but volume is way lower than I thought it was. I saw the average daily volume was 250,000, but looking more closely at that, it looks like it's about 160,000 a day, which is not enough for me. I'm calling this a mini cup pattern. A typical cup pattern is a minimum of 6 weeks. The mini cup one here is about 6 days. But I think patterns can form in a matter of days now as opposed to weeks. Trading information is available at an instant now. You can look at charts and what they're doing every minute, but 40 years ago, trading data was not that readily available. I did leave my floor on Zedge at 8% below my purchase price. So I've held this 3 days and it's down 0.4%. 360 Digitech Inc., stock symbol QFIN. I bought QFIN on Tuesday when the market was still under pressure. It moved to confirmed uptrend at the end of the day Tuesday. Susan texted that she bought this, and I'd been looking at it over the weekend. It was in my consider buying this week list. The pattern looks like a second attempt at a failed breakout, possibly a deep cup with handle. On my tweaked screen, it missed the relative strength. It only had an 88 when I like to see a 95, and it's not in a top industry group. It's in industry group that's 159 out of 197, so one of the bottom ones. It's a Chinese company, and it has wide price swings. I almost got kicked out the day after I purchased it, but I held on, and I am going to leave my floor on this one at 8%. In 4 days, I have a 4.9% gain, which is nice for 4 days. Nvidia Corp, stock symbol NVDA. Nvidia is up 4.6 this week, but it's still in a 13-week sideways consolidation pattern. When is it going to break out? Earnings are in 3 weeks, so we may have a bit more waiting to do, and I did leave my floor on this stock. I've held it for 4 weeks and it's down 1%. Every week I review my charts. Apple's up 3.6% for the week. It closed just above its 8-day simple moving average, but it started to point down, and it might move below its 16-day simple moving average. It did not beat the S&P 500 for the week. I raised my floor to the 50-day simple moving average to 129.44. I'm showing lots of buys below the green line where I bought it. Those are the buys in my husband's account. This stock might be good for his account, but I don't think the performance is what I want out of the Melissa method. This is a potential sell candidate if it doesn't get moving soon. I have 2 buys in Apple. My B1 I've held for 2.4 weeks and I'm up 1.4%. And my B2 I've held 2.2 weeks and I'm down 1%. I like my stocks to be gaining a minimum of 1% a week, so this stock's not cutting it now. I like to add to positions as they prove themselves. Roku Inc., stock symbol ROKU. Roku's up 13% this week. I repurchased a B3 on Wednesday. If you remember, I totally got kicked out of this a week ago, Wednesday, on 127, and I immediately bought it back. Then a week ago, Friday, on the 29th, my repurchased B3 sold. Roku is looking good now. It closed above the 8-day simple moving average all week, and the 8-day simple moving average is just about to move back above the 16-day simple moving average. I left my floor for my B3 at 8%, which is at 396.84, and then I raised my floor for my B1 and B2 to the 31-day exponential moving average at 390.10. My total loss if all 3 trigger is $886. My B1 in Roku I've held for a week and a half and it's up just over 10%. My B2 I've held the same amount of time, a week and a half, and it's up 7.4%. And my B3 I've held for 3 days and it's up 2%. Logitech International, stock symbol LOGI. On Wednesday, I made a B2 in Logitech and raised my floor to 31-day exponential moving average at 101.13 for both my B1 and my B2. If triggered, my total loss would be $326. I thought last week that I had moved my floor up to the 16-day simple moving average, but it doesn't look like I did. I typically don't move my floor down, so if you compare last week's video with this week's video, it may look like I have, but something went awry and I didn't move my floor last week. When I originally bought Logitech, I didn't have enough money for a B2, so I made a B3, but that one sold on 119 with an 8% loss. So with this B2, I'm giving it another try. Logitech was up 6.6% this week, and it closed well above the 8-day simple moving average, which is now moving away from the 16-day simple moving average. On Friday, I raised my floor to the 31-day exponential moving average, which is at 102.31. I have two buys in Logitech. My B1 I've held for 5 weeks and it's up almost 12%, and my B2 I've held for 3 days and it's up 2.7%. Taiwan Semiconductor, stock symbol TSM. I had a remnant position in this. My add-on buy never sold from the original position, and this stock looked like it was acting well, so I made a new B1 position on Wednesday. So I have a B1 and essentially a B3. TSM is up 5% for the week. I raised my floor to the 31-day exponential moving average to 120.73. A trigger of my floor would lose me $573 across both positions. I'm keeping an eye on this because I want to limit my losses. I expect this 8-day simple moving average, the pink line, to move up above the 16-day simple moving average, the green line, in the coming week. My B1 I've held for 3 days and I have a 1% gain, and my B3 I've held for a week and a half and I have a 3.2% gain. Don't let a double-digit gain turn into a loss. Rarely do my stocks go from purchase to double-digit gain category in a week, but this week I had two stocks that made that move. Desktop Metal, stock symbol DM. I owned this previously, but I got kicked out on Wednesday, January 27th. But I liked the way this was acting, so I bought it back the following Wednesday on February 3rd. Desktop Metal had a crazy 15% gain on Friday. I raised my floor to 1% above the purchase price. It's at $25.62. I just have a B1 in Desktop Metal. I've held it 3 days and it's up 23.2%. Digital Turbine Inc., stock symbol APPS. I owned apps twice before, in August and October of 2019. It came on my radar again because the teenager I'm mentoring, Ryder, bought it for his portfolio. It was doing great for Ryder, so I bought it also. After I bought it, my girlfriend Franca told me that it had earnings coming up on Wednesday. I probably wouldn't have bought it if I had seen that, but I'm glad I didn't. Apps missed on the tweak screen with the industry relative strength rating. It's in the group 139 out of 197 versus I like to see it an A or a B. I raised my floor on apps to 8-day simple moving average. I think it's a little too low, but it will work for now. I've held it for 5 days and it's up an amazing 49.7%. Yay! My current holding bar chart shows 1 bar for each week or portion of a week that I've owned a stock, and it's just for the initial $10,000 purchase. You can see the stocks side by side, how much they have gained or lost. That dashed black line is the $10,000 B1 purchase amount, so if it's below that, it has a loss. And that yellow line at 9,200 is my 8% floor, so I shouldn't own any stocks that are below that. The only exception on this chart is the Nvidia. The first week I held Nvidia, I didn't have quite a full position because I didn't have that much cash. I get nervous when I have so many new stocks like I do here. I have 5 stocks that I've held just the 1 week, and then 5 that I've held between 2 and 5 weeks. You can see the stellar performance in apps in the yellow, and Desktop Metal next to it also had a great week. It's in the gray. My current dollar value gain is also just for my $10,000 purchase, and I sort it with the lowest values on the top, thinking I need to focus on the ones at the top, the losers, and let the ones at the bottom take care of themselves and keep growing. I also look at the weekly percentage change, and I sort those also with the lowest values on the top. The stocks in the red box did not beat the S&P 500 for the week. After 2 years and 43 weeks, my $100,000 has grown to $182,211 versus the S&P 500 for the same time frame has grown to $146,325. The change in my portfolio from last week to this week, it's not the overall gain, but just the change from last week to this week, shows that my current holdings gained $4,186. The stocks that I held last week and sold this week went up in value $213, and my new holdings, including the one that I sold, grew $7,460. On the left-hand side down at the bottom, circled in blue, shows that the S&P 500 went up 4.6% for the week versus the Melissa method on the right-hand side went up 8.2% for the week. And then for my experiment year, which started mid-April, the S&P 500 in the yellow down at the bottom is up 39.3% versus the Melissa method on the right-hand side in yellow up 25.9%. The industry breakdown shows that I'm most heavily weighted in cash, followed by software, chips, and leisure. The numbers represent the number of buys I have in each stock. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel, The Melissa Method. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.